Okay, no coffee again this morning. My stomach feels okay, but I don't want to push it. So I've got some more stomach tea here. So cheers. Hope you're going to have a good day and have a good morning. My plan for today is just to relax and maybe do a little cooking, use up some of the things I have in my fridge and pantry, and make myself a nice meal. So today is February 9th, and this is day 40 of the reading from Life Lessons from Julia Cameron. So it says, "Hurried one, slow your frantic pace. Stop rushing through your days. When you hurry, you ignore my counsel. There is no time for you to listen. As you move through your day, pause when you are agitated or doubtful. Seek my guidance and pay heed to my advice. If you listen for the still, small voice that gives you direction, it is possible for you to always know the next right step. Only ask me for guidance, and it is yours." Boy, oh boy, I can surely use that advice today. I don't know, I've kind of been in a funk. I think it's several things. It's the weather, it's the loss of our dear Chloe, it's all the mess that I've had to clean up. So it's a lot of different things, and this time of the year, especially when you feel like you're just kind of crowded in with all this stuff. You know, you can't get out in nature. Well, you could, but I don't like the winter. So it's not even a good day to go for a walk or, you know, just to clear your head. And I always like to do that. I always like to go for a walk, and that helps. That helps a lot, in my opinion. So, I don't know, what do you guys do when you're feeling like you're in a funk? Let me know in the comments below, and maybe we can share some ideas. So, yeah, I have some things that I want to use up. I don't want to waste food. So, I want to keep a handle on that. And I've cut way back, actually, on buying food. I used to do much larger grocery hauls. But with the past couple months, with the holidays and my son's birthday and New Year's, I've really spent way more money on food than what I actually would like to spend. So the next month or two, I want to cut back on that. It's not like I'm not going to buy anything. I will, but I'm not going to stock up on anything. And, you know, I'll just buy some things that look good to me and also use what I have in my pantry and freezers. So trying to save money, because that's another thing that can weigh on your mind is, you know, if you have a lot of expenditures for whatever reason that you have to take care of, that can weigh heavy on your mind too. So, but, you know, we all have these issues and we all have these problems, and it doesn't help that all this nonsense has happened in the world that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But hopefully we're going to get some back to normal. I mean, the last several years have not been normal. They've been just like something out of a weird movie. It's like Orwell's book. It became a reality. So hopefully that's all in the rearview mirror with all that nonsense that they tried to push on us. And I think a lot of people got really stressed out from all that. And even if you don't watch the news, you know, mainstream media is unwatchable. But, you know, if you don't follow along, people talk about it, you know. I mean, it always, sooner or later, becomes a topic of conversation about what's happening in the world. So unless you never interact with people, you know, it's kind of hard to stay away from it. But we have to create our own sanctuary and our own place of peace, that we can get away from all the craziness that's going on. So hopefully some of these things that are being implemented will start at least returning some things back to normal, and not just anything goes. But we'll see, you know, we'll see what happens. So yeah, I need to do more in the way of meditation and prayer, and that always does help me to calm myself and to lift my mood. So nobody really likes being a down and out person, but sometimes talking about it helps. But I find a lot of times when I complain about things, it just seems to manifest itself into getting worse. So that's probably not a good thing to do, to complain about things all the time. Sometimes it's best to just, you know, give it some thought and then let it go. So, all right, well, that's my morning chat this morning and my morning reading. And let's real quickly go over the budget book, and then I'm going to go and do some cooking, and I'll share what I'm making. Right, back at the budget book. Well, yesterday I didn't spend any money. So 3 days of spending and 5 days of no spending. So that's pretty good. So it's come to the point where right now there isn't a whole lot more that I need. I'm talking about little stuff. I still have to pay off the bathroom and also the deck coming up. So what I'm trying to do is rein in my spending. I spent money on my living room, but not a whole lot, you know, just kind of refreshing the living room. But that's all done. So I really don't need a whole lot of other things right now. That doesn't mean I won't need more things in the future, but right now I'm good. So I don't know, sometimes I get to the point where I'm just really tired of spending money. And then I always pull in the reins. It's like, okay, it's like when you eat too much, you know, you just kind of get to the point where, oh, I don't want another bite. It isn't even pleasurable anymore. So that's the point I'm at right now with spending money. So I don't plan on spending any money today either, but you never know. Sometimes things come up and you have to, but that's not in my plan for today. So, all right, without further ado, let's move on with the day. All right, I'm kind of trying to clean things out of the refrigerator. So I had some leftover pizza sauce from a jar of pizza sauce. So what I want to do, these are from Dollar Tree. I'm going to freeze these, and then when they're frozen, I'll pop them out and put them in a bag. And then I can use this for flatbread pizza or whatever, or I can pop it into soups. I could put it in chilies, whatever. So I didn't want the pizza sauce to get bad and moldy, so I'm just going to preserve it by freezing it in these little containers. Okay, I took a few things out of the refrigerator and the pantry, so I still have a little tiny bit of that pizza sauce in there. I want to clean out the jar. I have some bread here, bread cubes. They were from Christmas Eve. Just the bits and pieces. I want to make those into breadcrumbs. I had some frozen Impossible Burger that I took out of the freezer. And yeah, it was in there for a while, but that's okay. It was frozen. Doesn't have any freezer burn. I find these packs that are sealed last a long time. I have some aquafaba, which is the liquid from chickpeas. I'm going to use that as a substitute for egg. I have 2 bananas. So I want to make some banana bread, and I want to make a small meatloaf. So that's what I'm going to put together, and I'll put some seasonings in with this. Now these are seasoned, so that'll be part of the seasoning, and then that'll go into the meatloaf. So, all right, let's see what I can put together here. All right, well, in here I put 3 tablespoons of the aquafaba. It's the same as 1 egg. I had a little tiny bit of onion soup left. I stuck that in there, trying to use that up. And now I'm just going to grind these up into breadcrumbs. So it's a good way to use up even croutons or stuffing mix or any of your seasoned breadcrumbs. You can make your own. So I'm going to go ahead and blend that up. And I'll be right back. Okay, ground those all up. Put that to the side. And I'm going to go ahead and just stick this in with the grounds. You can use hamburger, whatever you like. Now I'm going to add the rest of this tomato sauce just to clean out the container. I think I can do it one more time. You don't want to put too much moisture in there, but you can use some for the breadcrumbs. You can also use milk, plant-based milk, whatever you have on hand. So, and this is a nice little jar to keep. Put small things in. And then I'm just going to add a couple more seasonings to this. Going to add some Italian seasoning. Now, depending on what you want, you can make it a Mexican flavor or whatever you like. So I'm also going to add a little bit of seasoned salt. Now, you don't need the seasoned salt if you put in more of the onion soup, but there wasn't much in there, so I'm going to add a little bit of seasoned salt. Not too much. And then I'm going to add some pepper. Okay. And I'm also going to add some garlic powder. I like garlic. You can put some fresh garlic in there too if you want. And some onion powder. There wasn't a whole lot of onion there. But even if you do an onion, you can still add onion powder. So okay, I'm going to mix that up. And I'm going to bake this at 350 until it's done. I don't know, I imagine at least a half an hour. And then this is something that I can put on sandwiches, make a gravy with, whatever. Now I happen to have made this vegan by using the aquafaba, but you can use an egg. And you can use plant-based milk, or you can use regular milk, whatever you like. So meatloaf is very forgiving. And this will just make a small meatloaf, and whatever I don't eat in a couple days, I'll definitely freeze. So I want to start making some freeze-ahead meals. And the best way to actually mix this up is with your hands, but for the camera I'm not going to do that. But I am going to go ahead and put this in one of my little pans, and these fit in the toaster oven. So alright, I'll show you this when it's done, and I'll do a taste test. Alright, well, I'm going to make some banana bread. I had 2 bananas left over, and I have some aquafaba. I want to use this too. I have some cinnamon, vanilla. I like to put lemon peel in my banana bread. I have a little bit of banana flavored whatever. Anyway, extract, flavor, imitation. All right, and then here I have some chopped nuts. I like nuts in my banana bread. I have a cup of flour. I have baking soda, baking powder, a little salt, all piled up on there. Here I have half cane sugar and half brown sugar. But I'm tweaking the recipe I found a little bit. Now the recipe calls for half a cup of oil, but I'm going to use the aquafaba not only as an egg substitute, as a binder, but also as the oil. So I'll be using a half a cup and 3 tablespoons of the aquafaba. So let me get this all mixed up and see if I can make a decent banana bread. Alright, well the first thing I'm going to do is mash up these bananas. And these are just medium-sized bananas. It seems like I always have bananas left over, and I've been looking for a really good simple banana bread recipe using 2 bananas. So I have the recipe that I found that called for 4 bananas for a bigger loaf, but I don't need that much banana bread. So this one was really easy to cut in half, so that's what I did. Alright, so you can mash up the bananas as much or as little as you want. Now for the egg substitute, it calls for 3 tablespoons of aquafaba. Okay, and then it also calls for half a cup of oil. Now I wanted to see maybe if I could use yogurt. I think you can substitute that, but I want to see if I can use just aquafaba without oil. It would cut down the calories a lot. So let's give it a try. So I'm also going to put in another half a cup of the aquafaba, and this is just from a can of chickpeas. So there we go. I hope that's not too much liquid. I guess we'll find out, because this only has half of a cup of, or 1 cup of flour. So give that a mix. And then I'm going to add all the sugar. And I'll put this recipe, I'll post a picture of it. And just mix that up real well. Now the recipe calls for half a teaspoon of vanilla, but I'm going to add a whole teaspoon because I like vanilla. So I'm going to add a teaspoon of vanilla. I'll add a half a teaspoon of the banana extract because I like a very banana-y bread. And then I'm going to add about a teaspoon of the lemon peel. A little bit clumped up in there, not too bad. So about a teaspoon of lemon peel. I like the flavor lemon peel gives banana bread. So let's mix that up. I don't know, this seems to be really liquidy, but we'll see. And then I'm going to add the whole cup with the baking powder and baking soda, salt. Add the whole cup. And that was my meatloaf all done. So let's see what we come up with here. This might turn out to be a brick. Once in a while I do have some failures. Actually, it happens. So I hope it isn't too moist. Well, doesn't look too bad. It's a little bit thicker than a pancake mix. And I think it's kind of on the thin side. I think I'm going to add a little bit more flour. Not too much more. All right, well that looks better. I added, about a third of a cup of flour. And I'm going to add just a dash of nutmeg. You can leave that out. Now, some banana breads call for it, some don't. I've used it in the past, and I like nutmeg, so, but just a dash, not much. All right, well, that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and bake this, and it says to bake it for, let's see, 55 to 65 minutes, but I'm going to check it at 350. So I have a very little pan here, and I'm trying to make a little loaf. Nothing big. You can make this as muffins too. And I'm going to pop it in the oven and we'll see what happens. If it works with the aquafaba, it will definitely save on calories. So alright, well, I will be back. My meatloaf, I got to check that. See if it's done. I forgot the cinnamon. Oh no. But it's not too late. About half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and I'll just stir it in the pan. Gotta have some cinnamon, and I also forgot the nuts. So I'm going to add a handful of nuts. I like nuts in my banana bread. Maple syrup would be good in there. Banana bread is usually very forgiving. So, okay. Now I'm going to sprinkle this with a little tiny bit of cinnamon sugar. Oh, sorry for reaching. little bit of cinnamon sugar just to make it nice up on top. And then I have a few little nut pieces here that I'm also going to sprinkle on top. So there we go. Hopefully it's a decent banana bread. Okay, it's going to go in the oven now. Here are the two banana bread recipes. Okay, let's clean up some dishes. So we got a little bit of snow, not too much, but enough to be annoying, and enough to keep me home for the day. But there's nothing that I need or want. I don't want to go out in public and buy more stuff. So I'm not doing too much today, just sort of hanging out here. And I thought I would make a nice dinner, have some meatloaf, and of course it's plant-based, and also make the banana bread, and hopefully they turn out. I know the meatloaf will. Meatloaf is, I've made it many times in the past, but the banana bread, I keep trying different recipes, and we'll see. I even found a recipe where you only use 3 ingredients. You use self-rising flour, a couple of bananas, and sweetened condensed milk. So I cut that down to a half recipe too, but I thought I would try this recipe first because I didn't want to open a can of sweetened condensed milk, but the next time I make homemade creamer, I'll see if I have bananas and I'll try that recipe too. So I like a moist banana bread, but I don't like it when it's, I don't even know how to describe it, you know, not chewy, but too moist. Something in between would be good. And usually I never have 3 bananas. I usually only have 2. So I'd like to find a really easy recipe, and this recipe is very easy that I'm doing. I think so. Of course, I added a bunch of extra things to make it taste good, but I'm sure it would taste just fine just with the basic recipe. And like I said, once I'm done and it gets out of the oven, I'll show it to you, and we'll have a taste test. And then I'll also, I hate these labels. I can never get them off. Anyway, we'll also taste test the meatloaf. So tonight will be a simple dinner. I have some potatoes, frozen potatoes, that are already prepared that I want to try with the meatloaf. It's like a cheese type potato. So I hope that'll be good, and then I'll have a veggie with it. A frozen veggie. So anyway, oh, that's crooked. There I am. All right, well, anyway, I'll be back when all this stuff is done, and we'll give it a taste test. All right, well, here is the meatloaf, and I baked it for 30 minutes, put some barbecue sauce on it, and baked it for another 10. So that looks pretty good to me, and that'll be enough for several meals. I'm thinking at least 4. So it's not very high, but it's, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 4 meals I can get out of that. Well, for dinner tonight, I'm going to try these Better Goods cheesy potatoes au gratin. There's 4 in a pack. I forget how much they cost. They were like 6 something. But they looked good, and you can make them in the oven or the air fryer. I'm going to have some of this canned corn and the meatloaf. So using up some of the things I have, and the corn is from my pantry. I had the Impossible Burger frozen, and the cheesy potatoes au gratin, those were relatively recently bought. But that's what's going to be for dinner tonight. All right, well, here is tonight's dinner. Some canned corn with butter, my Impossible Burger meatloaf, and the potatoes. So everything looks good, and that'll be plenty to fill me up. And I still have plenty of meatloaf left for other meals. This would be great with mashed potatoes or on a sandwich, wherever you use meatloaf, regular old meatloaf. So, all right, I'm going to enjoy my dinner. All right, well, I think it looks really good. So let's give it a taste. It's nice and moist. Very tasty. So if you don't have any eggs, especially with the cost of eggs, try giving some aquafaba a try. Hello. Somebody wants some banana bread, right? Let's see if I can do this without knocking the camera over. There you are. There you are. And there's nothing in this banana bread that would hurt the dogs. So I will give them a little piece. Come on over here, Lizzie. All right. That's one thing that's hard to do, is move the camera around when you're on a tripod. So it wasn't a super busy day today. I did a little of this and a little of that. No cleaning, no purging, no organizing. I did some cooking instead. No coffee today either. So cheers. Try getting yourself a can of chickpeas and see what you can make out of it. Chickpeas are relatively cheap, or you can buy them dry and make your own, and make your own aquafaba. So, all right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. It helps my channel grow. Don't forget to share, and thanks for watching.